Untamed. I know I haven't made a video in a while-ish since my zombie video. Thanks for all the subscribes from that. That was great. Thank you. I'm now up to 56. So I'm trying to get to at least 60, and once I get there, I don't know, but I really want to get to 100, and then I'm going to do something special. Whatever it is, you're going to tell me what I have to do, and I'll do it, but there has to be guidelines to that. Must be. Anyway, I want to talk to you a little bit about what I've been up to lately. Basically, I felt a bit sick. One reason why I hadn't actually made a video, and because I felt a bit sick to my stomach today, not today, but yesterday, a couple of days ago as well, so haven't really been up to making videos, but I have been playing a lot of games. I bought Spec Ops The Line for PC on Steam for about $7.30. So that was a really good bargain, and I finished it, I think it was about 7 hours, and I really, really liked it. I thought it was such a morality choice problem that got me so confused by the end. I was like, okay, what's happening? And it was all like, for example, there was a scene where I had to choose between two people that would be hanged, but at the end, it was like they were already dead. And I'm like, okay, well, I didn't choose any anyway. I shot the bad people, so I got really confused and lost. I wasn't sure at the end where I was supposed to be, so it was a real morality issue when you went there to help people, but in the end you weren't there to help people, you were there to massacre a whole bunch of innocents while going there to kill some colonel person. So I got really confused, but it was like everything you were meant to be doing, it turned into shit. So maybe they went there to help people, but in the end it didn't seem like he actually went there to help anybody. It was like they went there for a completely different purpose, but you still don't know what it was. Anyway, and then I finished that, and then I started playing Fallout 3, and I really like Fallout 3, but it's not working on my computer. It keeps crashing at certain parts, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Same with Skyrim. For some reason, Bethesda games like to crash. What is this? Like, I don't know why my Skyrim keeps crashing. Probably some of the mods I have in it. So I got rid of some of the mods, and I'll see if it works a bit later. Anyway, I think I should get into my part of the review of the video, which is my top favorite books and why I like them so much. So this isn't like a number thing, like a top 5 or top 10. This is just some of my specific books that I really, really love, and I want to talk about them to you guys and hope to get you to buy them because they are fantastic, and I think that everyone should have them because they're so cool. Mind you, half my shelf is made up of fantasy stuff. So look, there's my little Assassin's Creed and my pop dudes behind there, and I've got photos and stuff. So yeah, let's start off with this is my favorite book of all time. So yeah, I agree that it's my favorite book of all time. So that's my number 1 for my favorite books. It is this book. It is Peter V. Brett, The Painted Man. I don't know if you can really see it. It is the best book I've ever read. It's an international bestseller. Yeah, buddy. So The Painted Man by Peter V. Brett is basically, it's about demons, and it's about 3 characters. Arlen, what's the other one's name? There's like a couple of characters. There's a girl and 2 boys. Here we go. It was 3 characters, Arlen, Leisha, and Roger. So each have their own specific chapter, and then they all eventually merge together. But they all start off as separate characters that know nothing about each other. I personally, my favourite stories have to be Arlen and Leisha, just because they're much more deeper than Roger's. I'm going to read you the blurb because I think the blurb really gives like an insight to what, of course it does, insight to the whole story. Oh, that's a stupid thing to say, of course it does. Anyway, okay, Arlen lives with his parents on their small farmstead, half a day's ride from this isolated hamlet of Tibbetts Brook. As dusk falls each evening, a mist rises from the ground, promising death to any foolish enough to brave the coming darkness. For hungry demons materialize from the vapours to feed, and as the shadows lengthen, humanity is forced to take shelter behind magical walls and pray that their protection holds until dawn. So the demons come out at night and go back in the daytime, which allows them to play at the daytime. Don't be out at night, people. But when Arlen's world is shattered by the demon plague, he realizes that it is fear, rather than the monsters, which truly cripples humanity. That's beautiful. Only by conquering their own terror can they ever hope to defeat the demons. Now Arlen must risk leaving the safety of his wards to discover a different path and offer humanity a last fleeting chance of survival. It was lovely, and then it's got this little quote at the top, and it says, "Sometimes there is a very good reason to be afraid of the dark." So in my head, when I first picked up this book, I'm like, okay, this is Arlen, this is totally him, but it goes through a long stage of them going from kids to being adults. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Arlen, Leisha, and Roger. Arlen is a young boy who lives in a small village, a very small village, and basically he doesn't quite yet understand the whole point of the demons and everything. So the section 1 is Tibbet's Brook. Now it's everyone who lives in this section of Tibbet's Brook, which is probably like the county, I'd say. It's like a little county, and it has a map in here. You won't be able to see this. It has a map on this page, and it tells you all the places that are like around. So Tibbet's Brook is like the little county of all these people who live near it. So they have sections. They have section 1, which is Tibbet's Brook, section 2, Milne, section 3, Fraser, and section IV, which is 4, Cutter's Hollow. So it goes through this whole ordeal of different parts and yada yada yada. Okay, so Arlen starts off as a little kid, and then he grows up to be obviously a man, and you learn him to be the Painted Man, and that's no spoiler. Just saying, that's no spoiler, because if you're smart enough, you'll know that this is Arlen on the cover, and it says the Painted Man, and he's painted. You know, it's not that hard, so it's not a spoiler. I don't consider it a spoiler. Each of them have their own special jobs. Arlen is more like, when he grows up, he's much more of a warrior type. He doesn't fear, if you understand that. He doesn't fear the idea of the bad creatures. He learns to overcome the fear and just ignore it, and he like pushes it away, so that he's like not afraid of death, he's not afraid of dying. Leisha, obviously the only girl character, and only girl main character, is under a lot of pressure. She has to deal with being pressured by her stupid, idiotic mother to want to have babies and, you know, provide the whole freaking world or whatever. And then she has to deal with her stupid ass boyfriend who wants to rape her. In the end, he turns out not to be a very nice person. So she has to deal with molestation and becoming mature, and then she becomes a very strong celibate woman for a very long time. And that yeah, I don't know if that changes really. I can't really remember. Leisha, I love Leisha. She's one of my favorite characters. But in the end, she becomes, what does she become? She becomes like a herbologist kind of woman. I don't know how to explain it. Because she's taken in by someone. She's taken in by an old lady to learn how to... What does she bloody learn? She learns something. Dude, I don't know what she learns. But she learns like a herbologist kind of trait. So she's... it starts with M. I'll put it right here when I find out what it is. It's this. Okay, but she is a very strong person. and I love that. Roger's story, I don't really pay much attention to him, I must be honest, but it wasn't that bad. Roger is like, he can really inflict damage on with people he can control with his lute. He's a jongleur, which is a traveling musician. And in the end, Leisha, Roger, and Arlen all come together, and they survive this disastrous time out on the road by the use of wards, and Arlen becomes proficient in the use of wards. He's like freaking master at it in the end. So I really like that. And favourite book of all time. Buy it at Dimmicks in Australia, buy it online everywhere pretty much. Best book, I have to say, I'm not really selling it very well, but it is a fantastic book, and it's a part of the Demon Cycle series. So there's a second book which I have, and that is a bit thicker. That is The Desert Spear by Peter B. Brett, and it is, at the back, it says, 2 saviors, 2 armies ready to fight the darkness. So, ooh, what's in here? Sticky tape, because I've read the book. They have 2 parts in this, this is why it's much thicker. So pretty much right down the middle is the introduction to the second part of the book, and that is when Arlen and that all come back in, but they have a huge other army section, different character who is like a prince king person. This isn't my favourite one, but I still love it anyway. Pardon me. It's still a bestseller, but not the international bestseller. You have a whole new character, and you don't even know who this dude is yet. You've heard about him, because it talks about him a little bit in there. You go into this whole, they have these weird ass names, like Chin, and Jiwaka, and Shadamaka. This is weird ass names, so they're like a part of the Crazian people, and he's a whole new prince king character. So he's like leader of the armies, and it goes into all this stuff until like maybe, oh, here we go. Section 1 is for the Crazian people. Section 2 is for a new character called Renna, an outside force. There you go, it's got outside forces. And then you've got all these other people again that go through this whole thing. And Renna is actually in the first one. She's a friend of Arlen's, and Arlen knows her, and that's when they come back and they see each other and stuff. But Renna is the one girl who Arlen really liked in the first book, and she really liked him, and then she deals with a whole lot of crap from her father. And so I'm not spoiling it, but she deals with a whole lot of problems that made me so sad, and actually, it was depressing. Like, I'm telling you, it was depressing. Oh, man, and I love this book too. Renna's my favourite character in this, because Arlen, Leisha, and Roger aren't that proficient in this one, but Leisha and Renna are more proficient than Arlen and Roger in this. So I really like the 2 female dominant characters, although Renna tends to stick back from demons, but from humans, she's like a kick-ass version woman person. Buy this as well. The new book, I don't know what it's called, because it's not out yet, but it's out in later 2013 this year. Now, you're going to see a little gaming, obviously, because there are some game books. So you're going to see some gaming books, and 2 books of gaming books I'm going to talk about is in the Witcher series. I think my favourite gaming books, I have to say, they're fantastic. You have The Witcher Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. This is the same person, obviously. This is what introduced The Witcher as a game. And Andrzej Sapkowski, Blood of Elves. There is another one, I don't have it, it's called Time of Contempt, but I don't have it yet. Okay, let's firstly talk about The Last Wish. I absolutely love this book. This got me into the whole Witcher fantasy idea, and at the back it reads, Geralt de Rivia is a witcher, a cunning sorcerer, a merciless assassin, and a cold-blooded killer. His sole purpose, to destroy the monsters that plague the world. But not everything monstrous looking is evil, and not everything fair is good. And in every fairy tale there is a grain of truth. And that's why the last chapter is called Grain of Truth. But this, I think it has a very sort of good message, which is what I just read, and that is that not everything that appears to be evil is in fact evil. There is good in everybody, and there is also bad in everybody. So there's no line between good and evil. There's no line. I know people believe that there is, but there isn't. And that tells a lot about in this. There's actually so many introductions of fairy tale characters, like proper fairy tale characters, because this is a fairy tale to Polish people, The Witcher, Geralt. And basically, The Last Wish is all about a collection of short stories, and I really, really like it. It's just a collection of short stories. I mean, you've got every part that says the voice of reason, which is like voice of reason 1, voice of reason 2, blah, 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 is the present moment. And then when it goes into chapters that have not that, is stories that he's reminiscing over while being at a certain place in each voice of reason chapter, which is the present. There's some really interesting short stories here. There's some of my favourite ones. I love some of these. I've marked them actually. One is what chapter is it called? The Edge of the World. It has a really, really funny and witty basis to it that I really, really thought was hilarious, and I really liked it. There was also another one, and that was